This video is for multipotentialites and neurodivergents who struggle with niching down, who've been told to pick one thing and focus on it, but really you struggle with this and you want to create purpose or have some sort of mission so that you can fulfill your creative potential. So look, this isn't your fault. You've been socially conditioned by a specialist society, which is the neurotypical society, into believing that the only way to be successful is to pick one thing and focus on it. But the different thing is you're multi-talented and you want to be lots of different things. So maybe you want to be an artist, programmer, start a SaaS, public speaker, best-selling author, content creator. Perhaps you want to be all those different things and you struggle with picking one of those things, okay? And the reason you struggle with that is because you get FOMO. So let's say you go, okay, I'm going to focus on being an artist. Then you feel FOMO for all the other skill sets and hard skills that you've got, and you end up bouncing from one thing to another, always second guessing yourself, and obviously you get no traction. Now, this is not your fault. You were brought up in a neurotypical society. They're all specialists. So you were socially conditioned, as I said earlier, to pick one thing and focus on it, and that's the only way to be successful. And that's blatantly not true, as I'll show you through the course of this short video. Basically, from a very young age, you've been socially conditioned. I think I was maybe 3 or 4 when I was first asked this, but what are you going to be when you grow up? What are you going to be? Are you going to be an accountant? Are you going to be an astronaut? Whatever it might be. And this, of course, is part of the education system. Now, I'm a fan of the education system, but it's obviously designed for neurotypicals and not neurodivergents. So it was originally created by John D. Rockefeller, who said, I don't want a nation of thinkers, I want a nation of workers. And the whole education system is geared as a funnel to put you through, educate you so you can go and be one thing. And as I say, that doesn't work for us. So you don't have to be one thing, because by trying to be one thing, you're squeezing yourself into this tiny little boxes, which is smothering you, and it's frankly depressing, right? So in existential philosophy, which I'm a big fan, they talk about us not being human beings. They talk about being human becomings because we're constantly evolving. So a neurotypical or a specialist might be a human being, so they're be one thing. We are not. We're human becomings because we're constantly evolving, okay? But in order for us to do this, in order for us to be successful as multipotentialites, we need to have a mission. Existential philosophers talked about having the freedom to be anything you want to be, but to have a responsibility, which gave them a focus. I talk about missions, or other people call it purpose, whatever it is. So what are the importance of missions? Well, it serves 4 purposes. 1, decision-making. 2, clarity, focus, and emotional attachment. Right. Decision-making. Like you, I've got a divergent thinking brain. It comes up with ideas all the time. But now I have a mission. So does this new idea get me closer to the mission or further away? This is a binary choice. If it's closer, then I investigate it with curiosity. If it's further away, then I discount it altogether. This is going to massively, massively help you in your decision making. And let's face it, we waste so much energy overthinking the shit out of everything. Now, by having a binary choice, does it get me closer to mission or further away? Gives me clarity and focus. It also gives me emotional attachment. Because I now have a mission that's something that's bigger than me, because I'm helping other people, which is one of our key drivers, then that helps me resilience. It helps me overcome challenges. It helps me face my fears. But it also stops me getting bored, because I feel I'm part of something bigger than just myself. Right, so I'm going to give you some examples. Here's Tim Ferriss. So this is his mission. His mission was, or his problem was, he was stuck in a business that was burning him out. So he did a bunch of experiments, which he called lifestyle design, to fulfill his potential. And he did a bunch of experiments and created a framework, which he then turned into the 4-hour work week. Now look at all the different hard skills he niches up or stacks up to fulfill his mission. He's an author, he's a podcaster, he's a creator, he's an entrepreneur. That's one example. Here's another one, Dr. Seuss. So what was his mission? His mission was to inspire kids to read more children's books, okay? Because the books at the time were very bland. And he was challenged by an old army buddy called William Spalding, who was a director of education, to create a book that the kids couldn't put down because they weren't learning the vocabulary. So he was given 348 words and Cat in the Hat was born. Now, Dr. Seuss stacked up or niched up his hard skills as an illustrator, a poet, storyteller, and obviously a writer. And that's how he fulfilled his mission. Maya Angelou, she was an advocate for equality, for black culture. She was heavily involved in the civil rights movement. She niched up her poetry, her activism, public speaking, and author to help inspire millions of people. Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, his whole thing's about social commentary, about racial issues, about equality, about authenticity, creative representation, and he stacks up hard skills of being an artist, an actor, writer, director, and a comedian. So you can see that none of these people are one thing. They have one mission, but they stack up multiple different things in order to achieve that mission. And this is how you can do this to help other people and not be bored. Here's a bunch of other examples of multipotentialite. Now, there's tens of thousands, millions of examples of this. But of course, it's never talked about because all the information you will find on YouTube or online or in books is all created by neurotypicals for other neurotypicals. And this channel and all my work is specifically for strategies and tactics for multipotentialites and neurodivergents to create purpose, missions, help other people have successful businesses. So how do we create a personal mission statement, right? So there's 5 steps to clarity. These are 5 questions that you're going to have to ask yourself. What problem are you solving? Now, every mission solves a problem. Who are you solving it for? Every mission solves a problem for a specific person. The clues here is to help the younger version of yourself. So I'm a multipotentialite. My mission is to help other multipotentialites fulfill their creative potential, create their missions. I am helping the younger version of myself. The reason I'm doing that is because I spent decades stuck, not knowing what my mission was, doing or staying in a business. I was in the music industry for a long time. I should have left a lot earlier than I did. I used to love it, ended up hating it, but I was scared to leave because I didn't have a mission, right? So better the devil you know, which was obviously a terrible strategy, but nonetheless, that's what happened. So basically, I'm helping the younger version of myself. And now what am I doing? I have created my mission and I'm now reverse engineering that process to help other people do the same thing. And what I'm doing is I'm niching up hard and soft skills together in order for me to achieve that. I will explain a bit more about the niche, about the hard and soft skills in a bit. But these are basically the questions. What are your hard skills? So for example, these are hard skills. Being an author and podcaster, creator, entrepreneur, they're hard skills. What are the soft skills? So that could be resilience, it could be creativity, it could be adaptability. What are the fears and insecurities? What obstacles are blocking you? The things that stop you fulfilling your potential. You can have all the tactics, all the strategy in the world, but the things that usually stop us is perfectionism, procrastination, fear of failure, fear of putting ourselves out there, fear of rejection. We have to overcome these challenges in order to help other people. What social injustices piss you off? It could be climate change, it could be Palestine, it could be the neurotypical society. I mean, that's my one. Well, I've got many of them. But you have to pick something like this because this, again, because this gives you passion, this gives you drive, this gives your mission a real purpose that other people can buy into, right? Because they have the same, they're pissed off with the same social injustices. What challenges have you overcome? What do you believe to be true that others disagree with? This is about contrarian thinking. So, look, this is obviously a very complex subject, but this here is the multipotentialite methodology. So I've just picked Donald Glover here, Childish Gambino, just to break down his personal brand, break down his thought leadership, his creativity, his mission into sections so you can kind of see and hopefully you can then build your own from there. So what are his hard multipotentialite skills? Look, he's an artist, he's an entrepreneur, he's a musician, he's a producer, he's a writer, he's a director, he's an award-winning comedian, and he's an actor. So these are all his hard skills. What are his soft multipotentialite skills? Well, his creativity, his storytelling, his emotional intelligence. He's a visionary. He has high levels of adaptability, as we all do. He collaborates with other people in order to fulfill creative projects. What are the social justices? Cultural representation, social and racial issues, mental awareness. He talks about his own mental health, about depression, about anxiety, about overwhelm, which happens around his creative projects. He talks about economic and social mobility for African American people. This is his obstacles. What are the things that block him? It's his perfectionism. He's got a clinical attention to detail, highly self-critical, and this is what leads to his depression, anxiety, and overwhelm. When he loses the balance of searching for excellent to over perfectionistic spirals. And then we have to look at his authenticity. He's telling his story through his creativity. He's talking about cultural authenticity. He's talking about his uncompromising vision. And he's doing this with a level of vulnerability. And this is how you break down his mission. And this is how you can take the stepstones to create your own mission. So I hope this helps. Peace out.